Oh, hey, welcome back. RC Crawler Talk. Back on the bench with you is the VRD Carbon Class 2 build. It's still square body-ish, and last time on the last video, you've seen all my tape job and wannabe cut marks and listen to me babble on about what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. Well, here we are. We are closer, one step closer. So what you're looking at, clodbuster, Tamiya, VRD carbon chassis, competition chassis kit. And I've actually made some progress. I got a lot of the body work done. I got the pinch done. It's not a heavy pinch, but it's I think it's going to look pretty good. Still looks fairly sharp. If you want to see the beginning of this video, or the beginning of this journey, if you will, go ahead and check out the past video, where we start our past two videos actually. The last video I started talking about body work. So what you can see that I've done, where do we want to start? Where do we want to start? All right, we'll start at the back and we'll go forward. All right, so in the back, I actually ended up bobbing it. There's the piece I cut out. I just took some measurements, made a straight line, used a piece of tape. You can see on the ends here, I cut the taillights out. I was thinking about using them, but I decided not against it. So this width is about 1.25 inches wide. So I took 1.25 inches off the back. And mind you, the Sorrca rules say that the body and the has to extend past the rear edge of the wheel, the trailing edge. And right now it's still all one piece. I did talk about separating the two, and I'm still going to do that. Hopefully we'll be doing that in this video because I need to make progress. So on the back, I cut that 1.25 inches out. And then I had some styrene. It's not very thick. I could get you a measurement. But I wanted something to kind of make this a little more rigid. When you cut out this big section, you can see that this part is the very back of it. It helps strengthen the flex of the bed. So like this, right? So I want to retain that. So I just took some styrene, took the body, and I laid it straight down on top of it, traced it out, took my one of my X-Acto knives, cut it out, got it close, started gluing it. Started gluing it really good. I got a bead underneath, a bead all the way around on the insides. You can see I also put a piece of styrene square tubing in there. And actually that square tubing is actually hollow. You get this stuff at well, I'm sure you can get it on Amazon, but a lot of this stuff was got from Hobby Lobby. So did that, strengthen up the back. Now it's pretty good, man. I think it's going to hold up well. Obviously my only concern is hard rollovers. These things are going to break. So got all that done, got it bobbed. When I do get this cut, it's going to move it back just a little bit, so it's going to be a little bit further beyond the wheel, which is fine. We're not too concerned about it. I got the front all pinched and sanded down. The corners are still kind of, they are what they are. I got that hood line filled in. I've got those old body posts filled in a lot better. I got my blower mounted. It's not perfect, and I kept sanding, putting more filler in it, sanding some more, put more filler in it, trying to get the corners perfect. I had to put the sanding block down because, man, I tell you what, trying to get it perfect on a truck that's going to be bouncing and rolling over the rocks, hopefully not rolling, but, it's going to happen. It's going to get scratched up, it's going to get dinged, dented, banged up, and everything else, so I just had to stop, put it down. It's good enough, right? It's good enough. It's not going to be a show truck. It'll still look good. Scratches add character. Just look at the rest of my comp trucks. They all have character. All right, so here's what I did. Check this out. We talked about making a mount in the front, right? So I made the mount in the front with the idea that I'm going to hard mount the bed to the chassis and then make this kind of guy slip in there and then down in the front. It's going to slip in. You'll see what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a roll bar for it in this video, and we'll get all of it mounted up proper. So we've got to be able to take it off, but I don't want body pins. I don't want a screw. So I just took this 3D printed blower. It's got a metal insert all the way off there. There's the metal insert, right? Pretty slick. I use a little set screw. Now, here's the fun part. I didn't have to make anything. This is the best part. I used the factory Vanquish piece right here. So originally this thing is flipped over, so this bar is actually running back and through here. Yeah, I got to put shorter screws in there too. But this bar was upside down over here. So I flipped it around, lined up my body with the line on the side and where I want it positioned forward and back. And wouldn't you know, that bar lined up perfect with that hole. Sweet. So then I just measured across. You can see my little silver mark right here. You color it in, and then you take a good measurement, make a little line, drill as straight up and down as you possibly can. And I just drilled it, a tapping size. I believe it's a .099 or 095, whatever it is for an M3. And then I just used the set screw to actually thread this round tube. And I put a piece of nut on it, so when I back the blower in and out with tightening, that set screw is not going to move. I'm probably going to put a nut on the bottom just for, grins and giggles, if you will. But just to make sure that that thing's not going to back out. Perfect. That's the perfect mounting setup. Again, we still have, leaky shocks. Actually, they're not leaking so much. I'm pretty sure there's no oil left in them. Again, just sitting there. Now, I know I did promise I'm going to run this box stock in a comp. We're going to see what happens. When I get this all done, my plan in my brain right now is to throw the springs on it, run it on some rock, give you some footage of what it looks like. And then for the actual comp, I'm going to rip these shocks out and I'm going to put a set of Drav Techs on it. I've got them in the box, just waiting. So, anyways, that's an issue for later. Today, we are going to talk about getting the rest of this. She looks pretty good. She's looking pretty good. The pinch isn't too bad. It worked out pretty nicely. I'm kind of digging it. My next concern that I'm always trying to think about 2 steps ahead for when I'm doing stuff, right? So I got a plan for the roll bar. It's going to get attached here. The bed's going to get permanently mounted to the roll bar, and I'll have the roll bar come up over the back. You'll see what I'm going to do, but I'm going to bolt the roll bar to this, bolt the roll bar down to the slider, and then in the back I've got a couple pieces of small aluminum angle that I'm going to bolt to the chassis and then just run some screws into the bottom. You'll see what that looks like. I'll show you. I did talk about the sliders. I'm not sure if they're going to work. There we go. As you can see, if you look down the sides, I got a little bit of sticking out slider here, but it's kind of flush in the back. So this body must be naturally tapered. It's pretty close to even on both sides. I don't like how the front sticks out and the back is flush. I'm not going to do it for this comp, but one of the next, after we get this thing up and going, I'm going to come back and I'm going to trim this slider, and I'm going to probably bolt on a round bar or something like that just to get it a little tighter to the body, because it's not that big of a deal, but I just, aesthetics. And besides that, round bar looks cool. So today we're going to hack the body. We're going to separate the body. I got brackets, like I said, for the back. I'm going to get those mocked up. I'm going to get the roll bar in. And then I can continue on bumpers. So I've already got started. Made some tabs. Just did a quick tack on it. I know you're looking at it, it's like, man, that thing's like a weird exhaust, right? No, it's just excess. But I can't trim this and cut this the height that I want for the rear bumper until I can get this bed mounted exactly how I wanted it. You kind of get the gist, right? It's going to be level straight across. I have one full tube going all the way across. So, but I can't do that. I can't hack that up until I get this body mount body mounted to the bed mounted. So I got to separate it. I got to make a roll bar, mount the bed to the roll bar, and then continue on the rear bumper. Little bit of time. We'll get there. Stick with me. Let's go get after it. All right, hacking the body. Now you're probably asking yourself, Self, how do I cut that? I'm not going to use a razor blade. It's too thick of plastic. I could use my little fancy Nancy as I'm dropping stuff off the shelf. Could use my little body saw I picked up at the hobby shop. But man, fine teeth, that's going to take forever. So I think for this, since I want to cut down this body line all the way across and all the way down over here, and then I'm going to clean up the edges. Might as well just use the old Jim Duggan. Yep, you heard me age myself. That's right. If you're a WWF person of my vintage, you know what I'm talking about. If not, check out Jim Duggan. All right, we're going to start hacking. And so I can pay attention and not cut myself. All right, note to self, get a new blade. Should cut much easier now. Oh yeah. Hey, winner. Yeah, I got pretty close to the body, but I didn't hit into it, so that's good. All right, so I don't know how much of that saw, but we're gonna check it out. Ah, perfect, ruined a perfectly good square body. All right, let me get this cleaned up and figure out the next step. All right, so now that you got the cab and the bed separated, and I sanded the edges, I got a little close on that edge of it. That's all right. We'll make it work. Yeah, so now I want to make a template for the roll bar so I know what the bend's going to look like and everything else before there's no guesswork, right? I mean, there's still going to be a little bit of guesswork, but you get the drift. So what I like to do is a piece of cardboard or construction paper, or I've even done it on my bench with a piece of wood or on the bench top. Just flip the cab upside down, stick it in the middle of wherever you want it. I'm going to use a red Sharpie. I'm going to trace around the outside edge. So now I know the outside perimeter of where I want my cage or my roll bar to sit. So let's see if we can't do this without screwing up more than once. So there's my outside edge. So I'm probably going to, obviously my bottom is going to be in here somewhere. Something like so. Am I going to do this little kick out? We'll see. But I'd like to follow that body line. These are obviously the important bits, and I'm going to have my little side hill winch hoop here that you do on comp rigs, because course builders. All right, so next step. Take my handy dandy little tubing bender. You can see she's well used. It's almost time for new dies. But this is an Oakenshield tubing bender. I bought this a long time ago. I've done a lot of stuff with it. I put this piece on it for support and stability. Basically, it's the same thing as Harley Designs. If you check out his channel and his website, he's got wealth of information for fabricators, builders, RC guys in general. But he's got one designed just like this that you can pick up. I don't know the price. You'd have to check it out. Yeah, there you go. So I'm going to take my tube and I'm going to start laying it out, take some measurements, make some marks, and we'll start bending some tube. All right, as you can see, I had to put the camera down and get some stuff done. So I got it all bent up, followed the line pretty good, got a cross brace. She turned out pretty tight to the body, so I like that. Got the cross brace in for the to bolt it onto the bed. And then I added some down bars for the roll bar. And when I dropped into the bed, a couple little flat spots with some bolts bolted all the way through. I used a little angle iron underneath attached to the frame, and then through bolted the bed through those angle pieces. I also got a nice little push forward on the roll bar to match the body line. All right, there it is. Not my normal setting for a RC crawler talk, but I guess I'm just a bad influencer. Didn't get the bench testing done, didn't get the truck finished, had to shut the camera off and just get the metal work done. So a little update, got the front bumper done. Not my greatest fab skills, a little out of practice, but I think the roll bar turned out pretty nice. Good and tight. Tight to the body line, followed it. Boy, she's dusty and dirty, isn't she? Alright, so to catch you up, looks like we left you at getting that body mounted. So let me show you how I did it. So I took the blower. It's a 3D printed clodbuster blower. It's got a little brass insert into it. Pop it up just like so. Take the cab off. I just did this custom interior yesterday out here in the woods. All polystyrene. It's got this, all the requirements: floor, firewall, seats, steering wheel. It's gonna be good enough for scale points. Got it magnetized. A couple little small magnets on the back and one right there. Alright, so how I mounted that roll bar, I just put little tabs at the bottom, little button head screw going up. I've got a couple tabs welded here on the cross to hold the bed. That big old screws on the back there. 4-bolt for the back of the roll bar. Nut and bolted to a couple pieces of aluminum angle. Of course, there's things I didn't quite finish. A little bit of trim I got to do. There's the rear bumper. It'll work. So that's where we're at right now. It is all wired up. Holmes Hobbies Crawlmaster V2. Holmes Hobbies Snub Nose Revolver 2040. We've got the RS 800 V2 and an SD RS 500 or Pro 500 internal spool winch. Still got some stuff I got to put more winch line on it, get my winch hook on it. I've got to smooth out the fair lead where the line's going to rub. I don't want it to chafe and rip. I didn't have time to do the top hoop, so I got to smooth out the underside. So if I have to side winch, I'm going to wrap the winch line around underneath, which guarantee we're going to have to do that. And I did say I wanted to run the stock shocks. Well, I failed. We're 2.5 hours away from me going back getting the shock cups. I got the springs, forgot the cups. You know what? Honestly, these things just leaking everywhere anyways. It's just all saturated. I don't know if it's from the bleeder screw or from the O-rings on the shaft. I'm not sure, but it's leaking just sitting here. So no running video with the stock shocks. I did run a drive. I ran around camp on a couple small rocks just to make sure all the electronics sounded good, and didn't get any footage, of course. But I'm going to swap these out because we're going to go test this out on the rocks today. But I got to get these Dravtecs installed first. Nice black. I put 30 weight in them, so they're pretty. These are actually pretty tight shocks. We got firmer springs for the rear. The oranges, I believe, they're either medium or hard. But these are going to go on the back. I always put the harder springs on the back. Climbing hills, it seems to help. Alright, so the next footage you're going to see is test running this out on the rock. Actual comp rock where we're going to be holding our scale comp in a couple days. So, with that being said, beautiful out here. It's quiet, except for the generators running. That's okay. You got to charge batteries, right? All right, Dravtecs installed. Soft front, firm rear. Now we're going to put this in. So one thing I didn't mention is these little nubs. They line up with holes in the back of the cab. Not the straightest holes, but you got to open them up, make sure it fits right. All right, so we're going to drop the custom interior in. See if I can do this one-handed. Got my little magnets on the back. Bloop, just like that. And this front just floats. When I have the battery will be on this side. Right down here, there's a piece of Velcro. And that'll hold that side up from flop around. Besides that, when you put the cab on, it pinches it down. So let's do that. So you got to get beyond the rear seats. Bloop, drop that in. A little set screw. Just like so. Pretty solid. Now stick the blower on. Just like that. Just give it one more twist. Now she's on there pretty tight. All right. Now we're ready to rock and roll.